welcome back to my channel. So for this video I have with me Scola Dondo.
Hi guys.
Scola and I were together at the Women at YouTube panel in Summer in the City that just happened here in London. Scola is an online fitness expert and a certified personal trainer. She's had an amazing weight loss journey that she's documented on her YouTube channel. So if you're not following her on YouTube, go check out her channel and make sure to subscribe. You will be absolutely motivated. Most of you that watch me on a regular basis and follow me on any of my social media platforms know that I preach confidence and self-love, especially as a woman. I'm aware that one of the factors that influence your confidence as a woman is your physical appearance and your body image. At some point, I believe that every woman has gone through a phase where she feels like she's either too big or too skinny or not pretty enough. There's a huge pressure on us as women with the way that we look, especially being online where you can post pictures like this on platforms like Instagram or Facebook. You're also open to criticism, like people will point out how big you look or how small you look or how pretty or how ugly. So there's a huge pressure. So today I thought I would invite Scola here to share with us her incredible weight loss journey and to give us tips on how to stay motivated for women who are going through similar things. Because for people who don't know, Scola went through a 50-pound weight loss journey. Maybe share with us what you were like before and the turning point that made you decide to work on your weight.
Before I started losing weight, I was very lazy, I was really disorganized, and I just used to eat a lot. Like, I just had no perception of what food was. It sounds really weird to say, but literally, like, a snack to me was a sandwich. A sandwich is a meal. But I thought that was a snack. I was like, oh, I'll just have a snack when I get home from school, and it would be like a massive fat sandwich filled with like everything I can fit in there. So I think that's why I was bigger, and I didn't have the knowledge, and I was overweight probably from like the age of like 8 until 14. Because once I started going through puberty, I guess that's when my body started to change, and I didn't really know what to do with it. The turning point for me was like I was like 14 and everyone was like starting to get all like interested in boys and girls and whatever. Also, I just started getting bullied a lot, which was like it was horrible. And even though it was terrible, it kind of motivated me, and I just wanted to make a change because I was just so unhappy. I knew that if I stayed the way I was, that nothing was going to change. I was going to be unhappy forever, but at least if I tried, then maybe I might be happy. So
when you said that was the turning point, the day that you decided to do something about it, what did you do? What was the first steps?
So I actually have a date because I remember the day I actually started this particular weight loss journey, because I had loads of attempts before, so don't think I just woke up one day and I was like, yeah, gonna do it. Like, it took a few attempts, and then there was this one that just really stuck. I don't know why, but well, I do know why, kind of. But it was July the 16th, 2010. I don't know what I did that day that made a difference. I don't even know what I did on that particular day to say, like, I don't know if I like went and exercised or what I ate or anything. I think I just made the decision I was gonna try no matter what. Like, I even wrote it down. So I think that's what really made it stick for me. And I was just so unhappy. Like, I'd just been to Disneyland with my school, which was an amazing school trip, but it was so hot and everyone was like wearing like little skirts and dresses and stuff, and there was one picture of me in a dress and I was just like, wow, Scola.
So you looked at that and you decided, I'm going to change the way I look for me.
Yeah, definitely. I looked at that and I was just like, I'm so unhappy and I look so different from all of my friends. I just didn't feel comfortable, so I wanted to do something about it.
That's encouraging for people to hear that, because a lot of the times people are very unhappy with the way that they look, but they don't do anything about it. But I feel like if you look a certain way that you don't like, you can either do something about it or accept it and don't whine about it. But you have a lot of people that say, oh, I don't like this thing about myself, but they don't do anything actively to change it. In today's society, the perception of beauty is a bit skewed, where people think like, I have to be a certain way. In your case, you lost the amount of weight that you wanted because that is what you wanted.
Yeah.
It's not like you're looking at a magazine and thinking, I'm going to be this skinny. You didn't go from being really big to anorexic.
No.
You went to a healthy place.
Yeah, when I actually first started though, I did have that like thing of wanting to be skinny, I guess.
Yeah? Okay.
Because that's all I saw. I actually originally lost 60 pounds. And then
okay.
I was like quite skinny, and like my mom would be like, "Oh, you're too skinny. You need to eat," like a classic African mom. And like my sister was like, "Oh my gosh, your butt has gotten flat." This is rude, Kim, if you're watching. But like I kept getting comments that I just didn't look like myself, and honestly, I didn't feel like myself. Like I didn't care what anyone said. It was me. I didn't feel like myself, and I didn't feel comfortable in my body, even though I was a lot smaller, and I ended up gradually, slowly building up the 10 pounds back, and that's when I was like, actually, yeah, this is where I'm happy and I feel more like myself. So I think as I got older, that's when I started to actually realize that my body can be what I want it to be. It doesn't have to be what other people think is beautiful.
Another important question is, how did you remain consistent with this particular journey? Because you mentioned earlier that you had tried a couple of times. What was the thing that kept you going this time round?
I think what kept me going was I actually made a plan this time. Beforehand, I kind of went in and I was like, I'm gonna lose weight, and I didn't really know how I was gonna do it. So I think this time is because I actually sat down and I did research, and I looked at how other people had done it, and I figured out what works for me as well, because it's good and well that somebody else lost weight, like, you know, going swimming. Maybe you don't want to go swimming. You don't want to mess up your hair or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you just have to figure out what works for you, because that's so important. Because like when people ask me like how to lose weight, I'm like, I can tell you, but you need to take that away and figure out what works for you. And I think that was something that really helped me to stay consistent, is that I didn't force myself to do something that was way out of my comfort zone. It was something that was still possible and realistic for me.
For me, I think that's how you achieve success on every platform. Consistency. But for you to be consistent, you need to make a plan. It's rarely that you see people who succeed when they wing it, and that's the way things have worked for me. In anything that I decide to do, I make a plan, writing things down, having a schedule. Because I know that on your blog you did have your meal plan, like a diary. So you actually wrote down the foods that you want to eat morning, afternoon, night, all the days of the week. And I think that would definitely help you for anyone who decides that they want to lose weight or they want to change something about themselves. Having a very clear schedule on how to do it is definitely gonna get you far.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get to the weight that you wanted? The weight that you were comfortable with? Because one thing is, when people decide to lose weight, they think that it happens overnight. If people could have their way, they literally want to take a pill, wake up the next morning, and all the weight is gone.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
It took me roughly 10 months, and that wasn't like a smooth 10 months losing weight every single day. It was like a month I would go without losing weight, or I would gain weight and then I'd lose weight.
Yeah.
So it did take roughly 10 months.
But at the back of your mind, you knew that you had to keep going.
Oh yeah, definitely. I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted to be happy, and it's so good to set yourself a goal, because if you know what you're aiming towards, like I don't know, I'm just the type of person who doesn't want to give up. Like if I set myself a goal, I'm like, I have to do it now. So I couldn't finish until I hit that number, and then I could be like, okay, I can do what I want now, basically.
Yeah. And that's important to know, because for me personally, some of you or most of you know that I've just had a baby, and recently I've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of emails like, oh, Adanna, how did you lose the baby weight? You snapped back really quickly. But think about it, Kian is 6 months. So it's taking me 6 months. Like after the baby, I didn't wake up and then the weight was all gone. Some of you who watched my videos when I was pregnant, you know that I did gain a lot of weight. But I didn't put the pressure on myself to wake up the next month and make sure that all that weight is gone. I knew that I wanted to get back to the way that I was before I had a baby, but in the back of my mind, I knew that it was going to take time. So the important thing to know is when you set yourself a goal to do anything, in this case weight loss, you have to realize that it's a step-by-step process. It takes consistency, but then it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, so you need that patience. You should not put that pressure on yourself to do it really quickly. When you do check out Scola's channel, she does have a playlist of workouts with Afrobeats, and I suppose that's part of that helped with the weight loss and everything. But what was the challenge for you? Was it waking up exercising? Was it like the temptation of eating unhealthy? What was it for you?
Probably the food. I love food. I love food so much, so that was definitely the main thing.
That's not a bad thing. It's just about knowing what to eat.
Exactly. So I think that was probably the biggest thing I struggled with, because exercise actually became something I really enjoyed. It wasn't just about losing weight. It was about actually just really helping mentally and physically. I loved it. Which sounds so weird, but I really started to love it. So food was the one thing I struggled with, because I think the main reason I was overweight in the first place was because I binge eat quite a lot. And it was an emotional thing, so it's just learning to deal with my emotions and learning to react in a different way other than just binge eating and having an output. So it was really difficult, and I did really struggle with binge eating for a really long time.
What motivated you to then be a personal trainer?
Well, I started documenting everything I was doing online, and everyone kept asking me questions, and I just felt like I was giving advice just based off of my experience, but there are certain things I couldn't help with, and also I wasn't qualified, so I didn't want to say anything wrong and then get anyone in trouble. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna become a personal trainer so that I can further help other people to do what I did. So
having achieved the weight that you desired, being the way that you are now, do you think that positively influenced your mental health? Do you think you're in a positive space right now with yourself?
Definitely. Before I was just so upset and I was crying all the time. Just now I'm just a lot more positive. It takes a lot to get me to be upset or angry or any negative emotion, because if I do feel any of those emotions, I'll just go and work out and then I'm fine. But no, definitely it changed me in so many different ways. I feel just so much happier, and also I've changed as a person. Before I was really messy and disorganized. I'm still disorganized, but I'm not messy anymore.
That's good. Also, just to add a quick point, whenever we talk about body image and lack of confidence and body shaming and all that, the general perception is that we're talking about the typical overweight person who's trying to be skinny. But we have situations where there are people who perceive themselves as too skinny and trying to gain some weight. So, and they also face a level of negativity.
Yeah, definitely. At school, I had a best friend who was the complete opposite of me. She was shorter and she's really skinny. And she used to get bullied so badly as well. We both used to get bullied for our size. The way she took the bullying was completely different from me, because everyone reacts to bullying in a different way. She ended up actually getting really bad anxiety and dropping out of school. It affects everybody, and I think you have to really take that into account, that it doesn't matter if someone's big or small or something. Bullying is not nice, and you just shouldn't do it.
Just to highlight something, so the verbal bullying or the verbal abuse that you would have gotten then to your face is no different from the comments that people drop now on people's photographs regarding their weight. You could be in a position where you're either comfortable with where you are or you're uncomfortable trying to change it, but then people keep highlighting what you're going through, and that is very demotivating in a way. Because, for example, my bump was really huge when I was pregnant, and I personally didn't like that every comment on my photo was, oh, you're having twins, that's a massive bump. Oh my god, you've gained a lot of weight. You know what I mean? Thankfully, I was pregnant for Kian, and I was very excited about my pregnancy, that whatever people were saying didn't really get me down. But today, there are people who haven't achieved that level of confidence. There are people who don't have the family support or support from friends, and just the comments alone that people can make regarding their weight is enough to really push them off the edge. As a learning point, it's important for us to be aware that the things that we say to people, especially regarding body image and fat shaming and name calling, is a very, very sensitive area. So we need to be aware of that, and we need to be careful when we make remarks to people's weight, whether it's too big or it's too skinny. What are the top 3 advice that you would have for any woman who's not happy with where she is right now in terms of her appearance?
My first tip is to set a goal so you actually know what you want to achieve, so that you have something to strive towards. My second tip is to make an actual plan. Like I said, you can't, this is my favorite quote, fail to plan, plan to fail.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite quotes, because genuinely, it's very rare that you can be lucky enough just to stumble into something if you don't plan, or like even make a little plan on how you're going to achieve it. So make a goal and make a plan. My third tip is to be consistent with it. Like, consistency is everything. You can't just do it once or just do it when you feel motivated. Like, motivation is so temporary. You're gonna have to force yourself sometimes. So be really consistent. And I have a bonus tip. Learn to love yourself right now as well, because negative emotions won't carry you through your journey. If you're always gonna just be being down on yourself and feeling negatively about yourself and speaking to yourself in a really negative way, like, you won't get to where you want to be. Like, you need to speak love to yourself and just be like, yeah, I'm awesome and I can do this, and just learn to love yourself right now. Because when you lose a weight, like 50 pounds down didn't mean, oh my gosh, I loved myself, because I didn't spend that time to be like, I'm the bomb.com. So I had to spend the time to be like, yeah, I'm actually pretty cool and I look pretty good after I'd lost the weight. So it was really bad, because I did have a stage where I was like a bit like, oh, I still don't feel comfortable with myself even though I lost the weight. So it's so important right now, look in the mirror and be like, I'm the bomb.com.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Scola, for all the amazing tips. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you took 1 or 2 tips away from this video. You have to know as well that the way that you look and the way that you perceive yourself to look and to be affects your mental health. If you're currently going through any change in your physical appearance, the most important thing is to love yourself for who you are right now, and to realize that it's going to take time, but you would eventually get there. If you require additional motivation, I suggest that you go over to her channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, check out her channel for a video that we filmed together. And see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
You make me feel, I know you will always be the one. You will